Welcome to episode 16 of the Soccer Podcast Show. You're joined by your host. My name is Paul, and my co-host today is Noel. So welcome, Noel. Thanks for joining us.
How you doing, Paul?
Yeah, now, Noel, I think last weekend, the weekend just gone, a lot of things have been sorted out. We have maybe most teams have only one game left. A few teams have two games, but at the top and at the bottom, most things are sorted out. So we'll start at the very top. The way to start, Manchester City, 100% confirmed as champions. Arsenal lost on Saturday evening, and Manchester City confirmed it yesterday on Sunday. So champions, and we have to say fully deserved champions, in my opinion.
Yeah, fully deserved champions in the end, Paul. For a long time, Arsenal had led the table. I think something like for over 200 days. By the time that has mattered, I'd say the last 6-7 games, really after 30 games, that's when the real running started. And for Arsenal, I'm sorry to say, they've just crumbled. Particularly, we mentioned there a couple of weeks ago the 3 draws they had against Liverpool, West Ham, and Southampton. Those 3 draws have really come back to haunt them now, and it's. I thought it was one of those run-ins that'll go to the last day of the season, like it did last year. To be fair to Liverpool, they possibly did the last day numerous times, but it wasn't to be this year. I don't think City. If you look back at the whole season, I don't think really City kicked into the gear until around after the international break, like many people are saying. Up until that point, they were not convincing at all. They were in the race. No doubt about it. I'm not saying they were miles off Arsenal, but Arsenal seem to have that 5-point gap, sometimes 8-point gap when City had a game in hand. And it was like if it was the old, maybe Manchester United teams or certainly the Liverpool teams over the last couple of years, I don't think City would have been able to get back at them. But I think Arsenal, the inexperience has shown. Losing again there on Saturday. We'll get to the first game in a minute. But Manchester City, you know, it was scary. The bench they had they could rest a lot of numerous players like Grealish and Haaland, and they gave even Kyle Walker and I think Goodwin was on the bench, and Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, I saw the picture of the bench. It was frightening. And then you look at the good players they had on the first 11 as well. Alvarez, World Cup winner, can't get into the side, particularly because obviously Haaland is.
No, can I come across you? I have a question there for you. I'm just looking at the table. If you take Man City out of it, and we'll say Arsenal for most of the season, but if you look at it, Newcastle on third on 69 points, Manchester United 69. That's 19 points behind the winners. I know both of them have 2 games to go, but listen, does the overall league this year, was it a poor league then? That the team in third and fourth, joint third we'll call on 69 points, are actually 19 points behind the team that has won it. To me, that's an overall poor league. Man City are way ahead of the rest, fully deserve it. They're in the FA Cup final, they're in the Champions League final, but they're way ahead of the rest. If you look at the rest of the teams, to be 19 points behind them in third place or joint third, Newcastle and Manchester United, and Liverpool even behind them. In your opinion, is it overall a poor league, one outstanding team? Arsenal were very good for 3/4 of the season but fell away, but the rest were much of a muchness. Or what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, it's 5 in the last 6 now, Paul, for Manchester City. And a lot of people are saying if it wasn't for Liverpool, they would have just coasted every year. Yeah. Which is probably true, to be fair. I mean, Liverpool have pushed them, you know, they've lost the title twice by 1 point.
Yeah.
Liverpool got 97 points in the 2019 season.
That's unbelievable. And still lost.
And still lost because Manchester City had 98 points. And the season before that, when they ran away with the title, they had 100 points.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be worrying because people saying, "Oh, up in Scotland there's always Celtic and Rangers," but at least now I know obviously Celtic and Rangers over the last say 10 years, Rangers haven't been as good, haven't been nowhere near as good as Celtic, and Celtic are champions again up in Scotland. And then you look in the Bundesliga and by Bayern Munich, they I think might have won 10 in a row if I'm not mistaken. But this season at least Dortmund are chasing them down. And look like Dortmund are going to win that title. So it is.
Napoli have won it after the break too, which I've known.
Yeah. So it is a concern now that the Premier League, that it's the same. It's 3 years in a row. I know the other team in the Premier League history now. I can't remember back in the
days of the black and white television sets.
That's right. Yeah. Only Alex Ferguson's team from 2001 when they won 99, 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
And from 2007 to 2009 has a team won 3 in a row in England. So yeah, they're going for 4-0 next season. Who would bet against them? Particularly with this manager, he's absolutely obsessed with league titles. Particularly, he's won, I think, over the last 14 years or 15 years, something like 11 league titles in 15 years or something like that.
Yeah,
it's incredible. I mean, he came into English football in 2016. They're saying his style of management, his style of play wouldn't work in England. He's proven them wrong.
Yeah.
And he's going out for a treble. He's going for the European Cup. He said himself yesterday that to be known as a big club, a big team, you have to win in Europe. I think you have to. He knows that himself, and he's saying, "Oh, I was actually surprised." He said it plainly to the media yesterday. But I think City, it is a concern how now they have 115 charges with the Premier League. We'll see how that goes. That'll take years.
That's another thing we have to discuss too. There is a suggestion down the road that under this financial fair play, now again it's probably unlikely, but there is a possibility they could be deducted points and possibly even deducted league titles. It has happened aside in Italy in maybe slightly different situation, but there is question marks over it, and maybe we will have to discuss that as well a bit.
Yeah, I think though many people are saying that it took nearly 3 or 4 years for these charges to come to pass. That for any punishment to be handed out, it could take another 3 or 4 years. So this could be a long way down the line. Different manager, different, maybe I wouldn't say different owners. I think these owners are in for the long haul.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that we have to. It's a question mark over Manchester City, particularly 115 charges, and if the evidence is there that they're innocent, people are saying, why don't they put it out?
Yeah.
But yeah, getting back to the football, which we're here to discuss.
Yeah.
I think it was good for the league that Arsenal at least pushed City this year. No, it doesn't say a lot for having to push a team to win a league title, but yeah, it definitely is a concern. It's more, I think, the management too. If it wasn't with the money and Guardiola, if it was just, we see how things can go wrong. My own club, particularly, when you have an owner splashing the cash, and you don't have a management team that can manage it.
Yeah.
That's another way you look at it as well.
Yeah.
It's just that they both at the same time, brilliant manager and the finances together with it, and you have a winning combination there, Paul. But yeah, it is a concern. They're going for 4-0 next season, and they'll be odds-on favourite again to win it next season.
Yeah. Now, so look, as well, overall to Arsenal, we have to say for 3 quarters of the season, and I know I'm repeating myself, they had a great season, but it does leave in the supporters' mouths and in the mouths of the owners and the manager. There will be a bit of especially the supporters, a real bitter taste the way to finish, because I think deep down they knew they weren't going to beat Man City for the title. I think most of them realised that, but they wanted to finish. Like, if you look in the last 6 games, they played 3 teams in the relegation zone, and they only got 2 draws out in 3 matches. That means they dropped 7 points against teams in the relegation zone. They drew with Southampton, they drew with West Ham, and they lost to Nottingham Forest. So they should be 7 points up. They should be actually on 88 points now, even though Man City would still beat them because they have a game in hand,
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, Man City can't control what Arsenal do. And to be fair, if Arsenal had done their stuff, which I think is the really frustrating part of their fans, is that anybody can lose the way they lost the way to Man City. Anybody
that happens.
Anybody can lose the way to Manchester City.
Yeah.
But it's those games against West Ham. Now, you could forgive them for being an Anfield. They have a terrible record at Anfield, and Liverpool are a good team.
Yeah.
And Liverpool in the end could have won that. Probably won that game. But it's the West Ham results. It's the Southampton results. It's the results on Saturday against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
They are the games that a bit of experience, I think, because Arsenal haven't been in a title race for a long, long time. I would nearly say at the stage of the season where they did fall off, they would have been in there since about 2004 when the last won the title under Wenger. So yeah, it's the next season now will be 20 years without a league title for Arsenal.
But they're back in the shake-up. So that's the big thing. They're back in the shake-up with the top.
It is. They're back in the shape. They're back in European football now for next season Champions League. They'll bring its own challenges as well, Paul. Because Arsenal in the last couple of years under Wenger when he was in Champions League, they got to the last 16 and always got. I remember one season they got hammered against Bayern Munich 5-1 home and away. So they're going to have to prove that. They're going to have to invest in their squad as well. Maybe shove a few players out, get new players in of good quality that they can compete with City for next season as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's the big job that maybe the Crunkies have for Arsenal. Back the manager down Arteta and see if you can get those players in. Let's talk with Declan Rice coming in, maybe. But he's going to cost about 100 million, I think, Paul. And are Arsenal willing to pay it? Maybe they are.
Yeah, it's hard to know. I can't even count it. Some kind of figures for me. But anyway, we move on. It looks now that Newcastle and Manchester United have secured, because Liverpool only drew, so that Liverpool have only one game left. Newcastle and Manchester United have 2 games left. They're on 69 points. Liverpool have to win their last game, and even Newcastle and Manchester United have to lose their last 2 games. So I think Newcastle and Manchester United will surely, in the 2 games, they will surely minimum get 1 point out of it. So I can see them finishing third or fourth.
Yeah, Paul. I think Liverpool will be absolutely kicking themselves. I mean, they needed to beat Villa to put the pressure on. Yeah. Newcastle United, their game in hand is against Leicester City tonight. If they get a point, they're on 70. They're safe. They're in the Champions League for the first time in about 20 years. Manchester United have Chelsea at home. Now, our season has been terrible, to be honest, Paul. We've lost something like 15 games. We're probably going to lose another. We could easily lose another 2. We got United on Thursday, and then we got Newcastle at home on Sunday. Yeah. So if Liverpool looking any favours out of Chelsea, I don't think they're going to get any, I'm afraid. But look, I think as we've been saying a couple of weeks ago, Paul, Liverpool just left that run a little bit too late. If they started against Leeds, I think it was 6-1. If they had won a couple of games earlier, they could be on 69 points, 68. If just to give them some bit of a chance, but I think they won 7 in a row, but it was just too much for them in the end. And I think I can't see Leicester beating Newcastle tonight and then Chelsea beating them on Sunday. So I think it's as good as done, Paul, to be fair. Yeah. But
I suppose Liverpool, they're safe in 5th place. They'll be in the Europa League next year. Do you know what? Yeah. Maybe that after a poor year this year, which they're entitled to. Like, I mean, again, this social media, I don't know, I'm trying to be polite in my language. These clowns, that's the politest word I can use, saying the Klopp should be sacked. I mean, come on.
No.
But I know, but look, again, I know it's social media, but unfortunately, you might say it has no impact. But that starts creating a little bit of stirring the pie, would say, but that he's entitled to a poor year for Liverpool standard, but he's in the Europa League this year. That will give him a chance to maybe bring in a few players. And the Europa League, the early stages are not as strong, so it'll get maybe off. So maybe he might do no harm for Liverpool just for 1 year, not to be in the Champions League spotlight and a chance to rebuild again. And will he get financially back, do you think?
Well, he has to, Paul, because I think they've 4 players there that on Saturday have left, are going to be leaving. Kate is going to leave, and James Milner is going to be leaving. Oxlade-Chamberlain is going to be leaving, and Roberto Firmino are going to be leaving. So they need investment in midfield. I think there's talk of Alexis McAllister. They used to play for Argentina and they won the World Cup. He plays for Brighton. There's talk that they might sign him, and they might sign a few others, but they need to reinvest in midfield, and for definite, Paul. If you talk to any Liverpool fan, that's the area they want. There seems to be no energy in that midfield. They just seem to, I don't know, if Fabinho that plays for Liverpool, any Liverpool fan I talk to say he's had a shocking season. He's normally very consistent. Wins the ball, wins tackles, gets the odd goal. Yeah. But he's been very, very, very poor. He's been like a man struck to the ground, really. You said no gallop at all in this season. So I think, having said that though, Paul, Liverpool have some great results. They beat City 1-0. They hammered United 7-0. Yeah. And they had a few good results in the Champions League in the group stages, and then they just never were very inconsistent this season.
So not even Forest beating 1 stage 2.
That's right. They beat Man City 1-0, and then the following week they lost away to Nottingham Forest. Yeah. So they couldn't get no consistency at all this season. Liverpool. Yeah. So I think Klopp, going back to what you're saying about Klopp, like if any man deserves a bit of time to try and fix this, is Jurgen Klopp. He brought him their first league title in 30 years. It was becoming nearly a running joke for Liverpool fans, the way other fans were. It
was actually a hoodoo around their neck. It was like a millstone around their neck that they couldn't win.
It was a hoodoo. Like they had won European Cups, they won FA Cups, League Cups. Yeah. The one they wanted was the league, the League Championship, and he eventually got him from in 2020. Yeah. They were brilliant. They won the league title by 18 points. So look, he has done wonders for that club, and I think.
And again, no, sorry for cutting across you. If Manchester City hadn't the financial backing, he'd have won 2 or 3 league titles.
Oh, definitely, Paul, definitely, because the fact that they won a league title with City there, and the financial backing, as you said, it was incredible. And he got 97 points, lost the league title, and I think he got 92 points last season. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Man City got 90.